Hello, welcome back to the brew corner. Although today I'm not brewing, I'm actually doing a taste test of a commercial beer. But before I get on with that, I just want to say I've bought a new camera because I wasn't quite happy with the quality coming out of my phone. It seemed that on the edges it was getting very blurry. I'm not too sure why. Maybe it was something to do with my protective glass cover that I have. Maybe I'd just misaligned something around the lens. So I decided I'd get myself a new camera, and it's a Sony ZV-1. They're meant to be very popular. They're not the cheapest, but they have some good reviews on YouTube. So I thought I'd splash out, get this new camera, which is made with the intention of video as opposed to stills. It's more a video orientated camera. And I've also got a Rode, I think they call it a micro something camera. It just sits on the top and it's got like a furry cover for it. So hopefully my sound quality is improved as well, and it means I don't have to walk around with one of these microphones and a big long cable. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you think it's an improvement, and I'll get on with this beer review. The beer I'm actually going to be reviewing is a local beer from Bowland Brewery in Clitheroe, which is only about a 20-minute drive away from me, and it's the Buster IPA. Now, the reason I'm reviewing this is because over the last 18 months a lot of our breweries have gone through a really tough time, and I was reading recently that in the UK we have more breweries per head of population than any other country in the world, certainly within Europe, even more breweries than Germany, the great beer brewing nation of Germany. A lot of these breweries only set up in the last 20 years. We've had a real renaissance, a beer renaissance in the UK over the last 20-25 years, and a lot of these breweries are microbreweries, and so the pandemic has been, it's hit them really hard, and I just thought I'd like to try and support them by reviewing their beers. They're not sending me any beers, I'm actually paying for these myself, and I thought I'd kick off the series with a very local brewer to me, Bowland Brewery. These were set up in 2003 as a microbrewery in the little village of Bashall Leaves in the Ribble Valley, and then it was taken over by two local brothers in 2014, and they've really taken it to the next level. The microbrewery was doing really well. In fact, they were the ones who came up with this recipe. But the brothers who took it over, they've just taken it to extraordinary heights. These beers are now sold nationally in the UK. They have a range of about 6 or 7 standard beers that they make. And they also make some seasonal beers as well. We should be expecting the winter beer soon, I'm sure. I don't know if they are on national sale or if they're just a local beer, but certainly their range of standard 6 or 7 ales can all be bought throughout the UK in supermarkets. So the one that I'm brewing today is called Buster IPA, and this is brewed at their Holmes Mill brewery in Clitheroe. So they moved shortly after 2014. They actually moved to bigger premises in the heart of Clitheroe, the town of Clitheroe, and they've built a huge complex there now. There's a cinema, there's a food hall, and their beer hall, I understand, has the longest bar in England. Some would say the longest bar in the UK, but there's a Scottish pub who's challenging for that title. So, but certainly it's the longest bar in England. I think it's got about 60, 70 pumps along it. It's a brilliant place. They've done an amazing job with what was once just a rundown, disused weaver's mill. Anyway, let's get on with the beer. So this is the Buster IPA. Now, when we say a Buster IPA, a lot of people will be thinking about, big bold hop flavours. They'll be thinking of New World hops from New Zealand or America. This brewery, their standard range of beers are actually more your traditional English pub ale. So IPA originally was just a slightly over-hopped beer. It's nothing like what we have today, the modern IPA. So let me pour this into the traditional English pub barrel glass. Oh, massive head on that. Should have poured it a little bit more slowly, but it's a beautiful copper colour. A nice, well, yes, 2-finger head there, nice and creamy and thick. It looks, yeah, exactly like you would expect from an English ale. And the aroma, very typical. It's got that English malt aroma to it. Biscuity, a little bit perhaps of toffee notes in there, and a hint of hop. It's not a hop bomb. It's a traditional English IPA. Okay, I'm going to go in. Oh, that's nice. That's really refreshing. Let me top it up. Pour it a bit slowly this time. A little bit slowly. There we go. It's all in. That really is nice. Okay, yeah, you've got all those lovely toffee caramel malts. Biscuitiness there from the pale malt. It's not overly bitter, but there is a really nice dry bitterness at the back end, and a hint of, well, it says on the bottle tropical fruit notes. I can see where they're going with that, but as I said, they're not overpowering. It's not a hot bomb. People forget that IPAs were a British style. We Brits, you could say, invented the style of an IPA, but breweries they did over-hop the beer, but only enough so that the beer would survive the 3 to 6 month sail to India. That's where it gets its name from. So back in the day, the sailing ships, it was a long sea voyage to India, and regular beers were going off. They were going sour. They were spoiling, over that time period. And so the beer that would end up in India was bad. So what the breweries did is they over-hopped, because hop is a preservative. So they over-hopped the beer to help it survive that 3 to 6 month sail. But they only over-hopped it enough for the journey. So they didn't have to use massive hops. It was just enough hops to help it survive 3 to 6 month sail. So that's your traditional English IPA. Unlike today, where we actually overhop for the flavour. So it's two completely different things. But this is definitely in the English IPA style. As such, I think a lot of people might be disappointed if they don't know the history of IPA and if they don't know about Bowland Brewery. whose beers are quite traditional, yeah, I can see people getting a little bit disappointed when they drink this, thinking that's not an IPA. But that's what it is. It's a traditional English IPA, and I think they've done a really nice job. It's not a mind-blowing beer by any means. It is a honest, traditional English bitter. With just slightly a little more hop profile than you would expect in an English ale. So yeah, I like it. Bowland Brewery in Clitheroe, Lancashire. It's just about 20 minutes drive from here to Clitheroe, and cracking brewery. They've done really well for themselves. In just less than a 20-year history, they've gone from a small microbrewery to being a national distributor now, and award winner as well, some of their beers. So excellent beer from Bowland Brewery, a very nice traditional English IPA. Lovely. Right, you may also notice I've got a kit here. I'm going to be putting this on very soon. It's Munton's. It's their handcrafted range, and they're fantastic beers in their handcrafted range. It's the oat ale, and it's called oat because it actually comes with oat chips that you put into the fermenter, and it gives it a lovely, I've made this before, it's a really nice beer, and it gives it a lovely oaky flavour to it. So I'm going to be putting that on probably today actually, and then I've got another one of theirs handcrafted called Smuggler's Ale. I'll be putting that on too. So I'm going to be a busy chap, but I hope you've had a great weekend and you've enjoyed today, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.